very sincere terms. I mean, considering the grievance that General Buhari might have against this particular government, has the government itself reached out to him to try and, reconcile their differences?
Good. I would like to answer this question with another question. And I'm going to ask you, for the government to reach out to him or for the people of Nigeria to feel his hands in how to solve the current problem we have, which one do you think is the best? For God's sake, who, all over the world, which political party, there is always something one political party has against another. It's an ongoing thing. It's happening in the United States. We just saw an election. It's happening in the United Kingdom. It's happening in the United Arab Emirates. What we need to do now is not pointing accusing finger or talking about reaching out. What I'm going to say to General Muhammadu Buhari this morning is that although the PDP government may not be reaching out to you to sort out grievances, 160 million Nigeria are now looking at you to see if you are going to take opportunity of what has been offered to you and put this under control once and for all. Let the world see that we are putting something on the table. Don't let us wait for United Nations, United States, or United Kingdom to send an envoy to come and negotiate between us and Boko Haram. What Boko Haram has done to General Muhammadu Buhari is that they've seen him as a bona fide Nigeria. They've seen him as the one who can put something on the table. He may even be the one to initiate it and not the one to end it. The Bible says Paul planted, Apollo watered, but the increase is of the Lord. So let him start something. It is responsible. And I, as a Nigerian, I believe about 160 other Nigerians, would like to see the beginning of the end of Boko Haram.
When you say that negotiating with terrorists, I mean that you cited Obasanjo, Tony Blair, but you have people who disagree with you. In fact, Bassi asks here that where in the world do you see leaders negotiate with terrorists?
Well, I didn't get your question right, but what you are trying to say is that most world leaders does not really agree with negotiating with terrorists.
Yeah,
so am I correct?
That's why Bassi is asking here that where in the world do we see leaders negotiating with terrorists?
Well, the question to you is that whether they negotiate the terrorists on face-to-face or whether they negotiate with them behind the scene. It is a secret that we are all not yet to know, but Nigerian case is peculiar, and I want to point this out to you. Nigeria today cannot compare themselves with other part of the world where they negotiate or don't negotiate with terrorists. The infrastructure those people have in place as an alternative to negotiation is not on Nigerian soil. That is one. Secondly, I'm going to put this to you, please. Let me finish. Secondly, I'm going to put this to you. Negotiating is part of any hostile situation between the legitimate and the illegitimate. And I think in Nigeria today, there is nothing we have achieved without having one form of negotiating, whether openly or behind closed door. We've gone far to where we are now through various forms of negotiation. So it could mean that Nigeria is going to be the first place where we negotiate with terrorists successfully. We need to start something. At the moment, there is a deadlock. Nobody, if you are fighting terrorists, you cannot use fire to conquer fire. We've had almost 3-4 years of using fire with Boko Haram. We are not successful. Yeah, so what's wrong in trying another tactics for some time?
Did you listen? If you heard Professor Wole Soyinka yesterday, and we do have him on tape, he actually did ask that, I mean, they had talked about this, warned the government in time, but yeah, for some reason they may not have listened. But how do you negotiate with a team or a group that constantly changes its tactics, that's got links with international terror groups, as they claim, and then it goes on? So how do you negotiate with that sort of group?
Good. One thing about fighting terrorism or any type of crime in the world is the issue of gathering intelligence. gathering valuable information, knowing information. The fact that terrorists are changing their tactics every day or every minute, and we know about that, is an additional bonus to us rather than us not knowing anything about it. I think in order for us to even know about them, we need to negotiate with them. How can you fight somebody you don't know? I think it is through negotiation, it is through one form of communication and information that we are able to know that they're changing tactics. And I can assure you, having studied the way the current government is dealing with terrorism in Nigeria, I want to believe that the current government is changing tactics too. So something is going on behind the scene. The fact that we don't see it on TV does not mean that the police are not working, does not mean that the SSS are not working. They are working, but it's not going to be a magic wand. It's not going to be a abracadabra, then peace. It's going to take process. It takes long process from where we used to be to where we are today. The terrorists did not just wake up one day and start blowing things up. And the process to stop it is going to take some time too. And one of the major and important attributes of it is that there must be some form of negotiation. What do you take of the fact that, despite the fact that it looks as if there is a deadlock between Palestinian and the Israelite now, there's a